So this video series will be seeing about the 48 laws of contracts management. See, this is not an law derived from any jurisdiction. This is out of experience, and you will understand why these are called 48 laws of contracts management. So we will see 10 by 10 in each video, so it may not be boring for you. So let's start with the first law. Understand the contract before signing it. So you should never sign a contract that you didn't understand fully, especially the obligations, the risks, the terms, the assumptions, and your assumptions that you have understood the contract will lead to a heavy monetary loss, reputation loss, and you're going to give a big value for it in later period. So spend some time at the starting to understand the contract more. Law number 2, define clear scopes and responsibilities. Why we have to define clear scope and responsibilities? We may talk longer, we may discuss for a longer period. There might be conversations happening over weeks, even months. Sometimes some contractors have taken years to finalize. But why we should have a clear scope is we are humans. We forget things. 50% of the conversation a human brain forgets in 1 hour. That is the psychology. So when you forget things very easily, you have to populate them and put it in a writing. And you should, when there is a clear scope, there is a clear risk sharing. So what are your roles, your deliverables, and expectations from each parties shall be very clear. Law number 3, document everything. Verbal agreements don't exist. See, of course, verbal contracts are legally enforceable almost all jurisdictions globally. But to prove it, you again need evidences. So better go with the written contract. So it is, if it is not in writing, it didn't happen. That's how the industry is. So always confirm verbal discussions in emails or official documents to avoid the future disputes. If you have a verbal discussion, that's why every meetings are being minuted in writing. Because in meetings you discuss, and you just leave the meeting room, then half of them you will forget. So that's why we record. So similarly, record everything on writing. Law number 4, negotiate with logic, not emotion. Emotional decisions weaken your position always, and stick to the facts, evidences, risks, papers, financial impacts when negotiating the terms and variations. Always speak factually on a tangible fact you have. Law number 5, anticipate disputes and address them in advance. Please don't enter a project over optimistically. Be optimistic that we will finish the project, but 9 out of 10 projects ends in delay. This is a survey made by UK survey team in the year 2022, and today it might have went above. So the contract should be drafted with the dispute scenarios in mind. So which scenario will end up in time, which scenario will end up in cost, and some scenarios will end up in both time and cost. In that case, who is going to bear it? So that has to be very clear. So don't think that we are not going to get into disputes. I have been in some discussions. Don't speak about arbitration at this stage. We have to draft the class because we don't know who is going to be there at the end of the contract. The management might change, people might change, but the contract stays there forever. A strong dispute resolution clause saves time and money always later. Law number 6, a weak clause today becomes a legal battle tomorrow. So the poorly worded clauses, especially the gray areas, the black and whites, even though it is in black and white, it ends up in dispute. So when there is no clarity, every clause should be precise. It should have the entitlements. It should have the enforceability aligned with the intent of the class. Class number 7, know your client, contractor, and shareholders. So you are entering into a contract. You might be having a project with a single party, but you should know all the stakeholders who are being involved. And that minimum research has to be made by you to finish the contract and come out in a smooth way and positively succeed in the contract. Before entering into an agreement, assess the financial stability, reliability, and track record of all the parties you are going to enter in contract with. Due diligence is always essential. Law number 8, control the flow of information. Information is business. Information is trade. So be specific and careful in the flow of information. Sharing too much of information may end up in a different dispute. Sharing very little information will end up in another kind of dispute. So optimize it. Control the communications to maintain leverage in negotiations and claims. Law number 9. Read between the lines, loopholes or opportunities and threats. So every contract has hidden risks and opportunities. So converting a risk into opportunity and opportunity into a risk is both or under the hands of an expert contracts management leaders. So spot them in a very early stage to protect your interest or gain strategic advance. Law number 10. Never assume good faith in business. Protect your interests. It might be very straightforward and cutthroat. Trust, but verify it. Always include protective clauses for payments, performance, and dispute resolutions. See, when you have a good relationship with the client and you are not able to negotiate tough, hire a third party, put the blame on the third party. So they are our contracts management consultants and they are the one asking this. So I think they have experience, they want to add this, let us complete and go. So don't mix emotion at the time of contract drafting. It will end up in a huge dispute. We will see the next series in the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.